Hello and welcome to Anfield Road TV. It's Jack and Kev talking you through tonight's episode. If you're new around here, drop us a follow, like, whatever. We are on X tonight. First time we'll do a stream to X. So it's like anyway. So the X viewers, get your comments in as well. Hope you're all well and you've had a very good day.
How are you, Lan?
Kev, how are we, lads? Oh, have you had a good day?
Good, man. Good. Great day.
Yeah.
Top of the league, 8 points clear. Okay.
Absolutely flying as well. So in terms of the agenda of tonight's show as well, obviously Salah contract update, we'll speak about what he said and want to gauge all your thoughts and opinions really in the comment section below. For me, not really panic stations. I think it'll be all done in-house really. So Real Madrid build up as well. Speak about obviously the potential injuries that they will be coming into the game as well, going into the Madrid game on Wednesday night. Ballers League announcements as well. Interesting little talk and discussion. Obviously with KSI, and there's been quite a lot of big names in terms of what that does mean as well. Kevin De Bruyne, new contract and where he ranks amongst the best. That'll be at the back end of the show, and a little bit of talk about the Premier League results this weekend as well. Kev, obviously off the back of the big win last night as well in regards to Liverpool. Getting your thoughts on that game. Yeah, big result, mate. A grinded out result. Just thoughts on that game, mate, for you.
Yeah, look, we didn't get out of second gear, to be honest with you. It throughout the whole game. It's a typical after international break set up from Liverpool, but it was also if it was seasons gone by under Klopp and it was on after the international break and Liverpool were that lax, not because of maybe because of the international break, but maybe because they thought they could conserve their energy because they were playing a weaker side. That normally led to some sort of complacency, and we'd end up either losing the game stupidly or drawing the game or something ridiculous would happen. Yeah. But you know the fact that we were 1-0 up, and like they were so poor with they must be the worst team in the last 20 years to be passing out from the back, whilst being also a good team at the same time. Southampton, they're just terrible at build-up play from the back, and they haven't learned a lesson, and it's down to the manager.
It's getting a fine line, really, and it was interest in terms of when you see teams come up. I think it was last year, Luton, obviously they're struggling in the Championship this season, and it's getting a fine line, really. I think bridging the quality, bridging the gap. Obviously, for certain teams, it's a massive leap in terms of financial constraints that they do find themselves in as well, as we all know, mate. But yeah, it was just crazy that they were like playing from around the back. I think the first goal that we scored with Dominic Szoboszlai, mate. In terms of obviously key players for you in regards to that game, most and what do you want to say?
Szoboszlai was average first half, but he was brilliant second half. Standout Ibu was average first half, great second half. Salah just does Salah things, doesn't he? He just he might be quiet for some of the game or for the majority of the game, and all of a sudden he'll come up with 2 goals and then just look like a whirling, and everybody's talking about him after the game. And I mean, so we get into that situation in a minute with him, I suppose. Nunez was causing chaos there. Gakpo was as deadly as he could have been after an international break. The big change is when Diaz and McAllister came on, really, mainly because there was less creativity happening from Jones and Gakpo. Gakpo was doing all the work on the left hand side. He was doing a lot of stuff, but there was no final kind of ball. It was either overhit ball or an overhit pass or something. And Jones wasn't really. He was just doing his midfield work, and he was doing it well, but not creating much from it. Bradley was great. Yeah, Bradley was great the whole game. Yeah,
one of them games where Liverpool again. I think it's signing champions really at the game yesterday, mate. As he says, it's going to be a case of where Liverpool. There will be match weeks, as we've already seen this week. Well, this weekend, of course. Previous results, I think the Forest game obviously was a difficult result to get over, really. But I think it was a reminder for all of us, even the players and even the management. But given the bounce back reaction in regards to that result, it was very pivotal and it played a massive part in terms of our progression this season.
It is commonly known as a blip, Jack.
Yes, and we've had them. We had them in the 70s. We had them in the 80s as well. We had them under Rafa and certain other
We
managers
lost 3-0 to Watford, winning the league.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's if you're not if you're not getting beat, you're not going to learn anyway. I think going into the back end of the year as well, though, Kevin, it's good that these results are kind of happening, or in terms of performances you are seeing it at the beginning of the season, in terms of your developments as well. In terms of going into obviously the contract news situation, I think obviously off the back of the results in terms of Southampton, obviously Salah was in the mix zone, and shout out to Dom King, and obviously James Pearce as well in regards to them asking the questions and in that regard. But in terms of, make sure you follow all the lads on all their socials as well. In terms of the quotes coming out of that, we'll get to, I'll just read out a couple and then obviously get Kev's thoughts and get all your thoughts as well. I understand with obviously everyone's probably seen it, but everyone's panicking, and the way I look at this, don't be panicking. I think in terms of come what the end of the day, come what the end of May, even January time, I think Arnie Schlott's already been on record as saying already this season since he's come in, we're not going to be doing contract negotiations publicly. And I think sometimes everyone needs a bit of a reminder, even myself as well. But they're not going to be publicly. And I know Salah's come out with these comments, as we'll get into right now. Salah was asked on his future. I'm probably more out than in. I didn't receive any proposal. We're almost in December, and I haven't received any offers yet to stay in the club. Probably more. I'm probably more out than in as well. And everyone's ran with very different stories in that regard, Kev. A lot of hyperbole really as well in terms of certain situations. I know everyone's panic stations really, but how do you analyze this current situation? How have you gauged his comments from your opinion?
Well, I see a player that's desperate to stay. And I see a player that's on top of his game at the moment, currently probably the best player in the world for me at the moment, on form, without being completely fully on form, so it's nuts, man. And I mean, when I'm saying on form, like just electric throughout the whole game, he's just doing Salah things, and he's Salah's changed his game in the last couple of seasons. He drops back a lot more, he defends and helps out a lot more. He plays the ball inside and looks for the 1-2s a lot more, rather than just being the guy who drops slightly deep and waits for the ball to be played over the top of him or through the ranks. Look, his words don't mean anything because he said something similar along the line to his last contract.
Yeah.
And it's a way of forcing hand. It wouldn't surprise me if the lads are deciding to keep all three. It wouldn't surprise me if they have a contract lined up. They don't want to insult Mo. By saying, well, look, we're not going to raise your money, we're going to raise Verge's and we're going to raise Trent's to match yours. Yeah. But at the same time, we're going to offer you maybe 3-year contract rather than like a 2-year contract or something like that. So like you're going to keep your current wage, which I don't think Salah would be qualmed with. Yeah. I mean, he's part of the leadership team that's there. It's Trent, it's Verge, it's Ali, it's Robbo, and it's Mo. That's your leadership team right there, right? And 3 of the lads from the leadership team are that. But if you want to look at it from the other side completely, then you've got Arne Slot and you've got Michael Edwards. You've also got the policy within Liverpool to not offer contracts to players over 33 years of age above a certain amount of money, regardless of their importance to the team. And that's kind of like a policy that they've brought in since Edwards and FSG kind of came together. There's also a thing, Jack, where Slot is fairly ruthless too. So people who are players who were fan favourites at Feyenoord and the likes of all these other teams were shipped out because they just didn't suit the system, and he just had somebody waiting to come in just to suit what he wants to play. But I don't think he would do, like, he's come to a team that has world class players. So he's surely rethunk his stats and kind of said, right, I'm going to do those players under these guys, and then eventually we might filter them in or something. But look, at the end of the day, it for me, it could be a thing where Liverpool just want to offer the guys the 3 same contracts at the same time and see how it works out. Maybe Salah gets a 3-year one, maybe Trent gets a 5 or 6 year one, maybe he doesn't want a 5 or 6 year one, maybe he's asking for the most money and maybe that's hindering giving him the rest of the contracts because we have a certain wage cap within the team, because our old wage cap used to be 220,000, and that was smashed by Salah's
Yeah,
and
well,
Mane's and Virgil's deals, you know. So yeah,
yeah, and I think obviously Jurgen Klopp as well. I think we spent far too much ridiculous money on certain bang
yeah,
average players back in the day. Was it Milan Jovanovic
mhm.
used to be on like 150 grand, and I think obviously
Wow,
there's ways in terms, and that took a couple of years to really get that wage bill settled, really, because we know that Jovanovic and the players of that ilk really weren't deserving. But I think certainly Salah, similar to what we spoke about a couple of years ago, mate, in that regard, in regards to Salah, we knew there was a lot of noise, and rightly so, because Salah at that time and still currently it is the best right winger in world football for me. I think
yeah,
for the majority of football fans, even non-Liverpool football fans as well. But I don't think he'll be making massive demands. I think the main demand for him as a player, and certainly for the as you alluded to, the leadership group as well, mate. I think he just wants to be winning trophies. I think that's the main demand of him and Van Dijk and even Trent as well. It's one thing being at the football club and getting paid a lot of money, but when you get to a certain stature as a footballer, you've already got these multi-millions in your back pocket, really. Then the situation would switch. Like for most high-profile footballers, it's about winning trophies and being at the best football club to win trophies. And certainly, if we come off the back of hopefully winning a couple of trophies this season, Kev, it certainly makes negotiating a lot more easier,
yeah.
really.
Well, when you look at the fact that Salah is 6 years younger than Ronaldo,
Mm.
you know, in that format, and you think of the numbers that Ronaldo has, and you know, he's world, you know, let's call a spade a spade. It's a lot easier to score in La Liga, and it's a lot easier to score in Italy than it is to score in the Premier League these days. You know, for the last 10, 12 years, it really is. So, you know, Salah could have been on really big numbers if he stayed around there at a big squad. But look, at the end of the day, it's you could have Salah, give him a contract, pay him whatever he wants for the next 3 years, and it won't break your bank, because you could offer him that 4 year contract and then agree to sell him after 3 years to the Saudi League or to whatever, the MLS, and still make 150 million back. So your money is never gone. You know, so Liverpool have to really think about this in the right way. Salah will make you money, right? If you want to sell, look, I'm going to call a spade a spade. I don't care if Trent stays or goes. I'm just going to say that now. I don't care how good his right foot is. I don't care how good a good right back is easily replaceable with another good right back. Virgil van Dijk is gold dust as well, more than that. So in my priority, it's Salah, and Virgil, and then Trent after that. I don't care if he's a local boy. I don't care what I said this before. I'm not sticking with players that don't deserve it. Salah is a game changer. Verge and the backline is currently there now has kept like such low average of goals conceded in the last. Boy, it's nuts. The stature is there. When Trent is missing and Bradley comes in, it's not missed. You know, maybe the odd assist is missed. It's got let's go like call a spade again. On top of that, gone are the days where Trent barrels up the wing and gets 14 assists in a season, 15 assists in a season. He hasn't done it for a
He's a
while.
lot more reserved now in terms of this
A
system.
lot more reserved, a lot more, you know. So, and I love Trent, and I want him to stay, but he's the least important for me out of the other three or the other two to go, regardless of age. Age-wise, he can stay on and have the biggest longevity, so he can become the most important because of his age. But it's just it's a balance. I would just give him all three contracts and put him on the same contract, and then just leave it at that, and just say you're part of the leadership team. There you go. One thing you're looking after that, then looking at that is that then you're looking at the fact that Ali and Robbo could be on the way out, because they won't want to put them on the same money as the other three, and because we got such good reserves waiting in Queven Keller who could move on,
as well,
and Mamarashvili coming in, and we're in the market for a left back big time. We all know this. The scouts are out there doing it the whole lot, so that leadership team is going to be broken up anyway, like either way. You know, so it's just a matter of who's going to come in and who's going to solidify. And if you're going to give the same money to all the leadership team because of their importance, then hand them all the 350,000 each, and extend their contracts appropriately according to age. Yeah,
it's a lot more easy going into a period of quality though as well, Chat. I think as Kev's alluded to there, like it's not like 5, 7, 8 years ago pre-Jurgen Klopp either, where we were getting into the top four, but we weren't consistently competing for the top titles as well. Every top side, especially like Real Madrid, which we'll speak about in a bit, Man City as well, when to keep the best players and to be successful as a football club, you do need to very much pay big wages. But it's a crucial moment, and it's a difficult situation the club find itself in. But I think it's a situation that certainly the football club can very much quickly eradicate, really, because if you, as Kev's alluded to, Trent, what is he, 25, 26, going into the latter stage of his career, his contract, really, which is big prime time contract, really. And Salah and Virgil van Dijk, what is it? Probably had them another 2 years on the current contracts. Obviously, they've only got a couple of months left on their deals. So, yeah, I think for a rolling 2-year contract for Salah and Virgil van Dijk, and then we see and analyse as a club where we are in 2 years. But I don't think we will be in a realm where if you were to give Salah a 350 and Van Dijk 350, I don't think their form dissipates overnight. I think their importance. It's not like you're spending 350 grand on a bench player though as well, mate. So
they're professionals.
Yeah. So
they're professionals, Jack, and it's nuts. And like I seen Big Richie's last comment there.
Big up big up there, Richie. Nice one for tuning in, mate, on Twitch.
So the one thing we have to realise, Richie, is that FSG haven't been in the picture since Edwards came back. It's all Edwards now, and then Hughes. So regardless of FSG owning the club, they have now taken a step back big time, and they're gone off to ventures. As I said, we said this in pre-season, Jack. We were talking about this last season. Yeah. They've gone off to ventures now. They're trying to buy a new club. They're trying to find new ways to fund their bigger ventures by owning a smaller venture and having it as a tax break. They've gone. You barely see him at games anymore. Anything like that. They've handed the one deal that Edwards had when he came in is that he took over everything football. Transfer related, football running day-to-day basis. Once Klopp was leaving, and he knew Klopp was leaving, he wanted to take over everything that Klopp had, and then some, and then Arne Slot was just going to come in and coach, and that's what he wanted. So the kingpin now that you're looking at is Edwards. So any deals that are to be made or any choices that are to be made is all the decision of Edwards, and obviously the upper leadership team, as in Slot and Hughes and co, and it's based on their stats now. So everybody's saying anything to do with FSG now. We're not really looking at the big picture because all this FSG stuff is long gone now because they're out of the picture now completely. No, not saying like that, like the King of England, that they can come in and say whatever they want or make a decision. They're not making decisions though. That was the deal that's with Edwards. So it's Edwards making all the decisions.
Yeah, that's where the sword will fall really in their department if this does go kaput really in a couple of months' time. Because obviously January time, as we all know, football fans, if the player's got 6 months left on a contract, you can obviously already pre-agree to join another club. And I tell you what, the one thing when I analyse this, though, Kev, and it's not just in terms of Salah's comments in broader terms, is similar with the announcement with Jurgen Klopp last season. I felt it very much. We all get why Jurgen announced it, because obviously there's people and obviously his technical team obviously have to announce beforehand as well, but I felt that didn't really. I think it hindered Liverpool's title running at the back end of the season. I really think, but I get why he made that decision, and I don't want going into the latter stages of this league campaign and it comes out what Salah and Van Dijk and Trent are 2 months away from winning the Champions League potentially, and obviously the Premier League as well, and then it comes out it's been a pre-agreed agreement with, say, Real Madrid or another top team in Europe. I'll be disappointed. As you alluded to there, though, Kev, we know the professionalism from these players is second to none, really. And if it comes down to it and none of them sign, then there will be absolute carnage, really, and everyone will be rightly so up in arms, because I think to lose even one of those players, I think it massively depletes the quality within the squad. But obviously you would save money, but at the end of the day, money is not an issue at Liverpool Football Club, and we all know that, because the revenue streams are absolutely in tip-top form, really, and we are in a position now. Jurgen spent 7-8 years, whatever it was, at the football club to be in this position, and that's what he built in terms of the financial resources. Of course, the players on the pitch as well helped, but we're not in a position where we should be scrounging round to not offer these players the contracts that they fully do deserve as well.
Look, the Salah, first and foremost deserves the contract more than anybody else. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how much they said he fell off the boil the last couple of seasons or whatever. Salah had his first injury in the history of Liverpool, in the history of most of his game, that kept him out from a longer period than a week.
Yeah.
Last season, but he was out for 3 months. Still came back and still managed to score a putload of goals. Like we understand him as King Mo. We know him as King Mo and the whole lot. And we're living in an era where when we go in 20 years' time or whatever, and I'll be in my 60s or whatever like that, and you know, Jack, you'll be in your 50s or whatnot, and we're going to go back and
hopefully
say,
you still have me here.
I kind of think back and I kind of think, do people who realise at the time how good Kenny was and how good Rushy was, regardless of the goal tallies, were they complaining week in week about what he did or whatever? But we're going to look back and just say, like, you know, Mo's up there. Like he scored more than them except for Rushy, obviously. But you give him an extra few years, man, and I think he's 120 goals behind. I mean, for Salah, if you're talking about a league now at the moment where he can do this kind of stuff, you know, it'd be nuts if he could get back to do it. He's had a 40 game. He's had a minimum of 39 GA anytime he's been at Liverpool. Yeah. But he's always hit 20, 25, 30 goals. You know, 25 plus 30 goals. You know, for Liverpool. I think it was a rarity that he had like 22 goals one season or something like that, and managed to finish outside the Golden Boot to Harry Kane or something, who had about 30, and obviously just the next time with Haaland. But
it's going to be a rolling story, though, isn't it? Yeah, all three of them deserve it, mate. And we're not speaking about these.
100%.
We know the quality of it, or we all do. I think that it's got to be controlled rightly by the club, and I don't get where with the situation. I get where people might have said over the last couple of hours where Salah shouldn't be doing it, but at the end of the day, he's a player. He's in the mix zone. We all know that the journalists are there to ask the questions, and the important questions as well. And he's certainly done that in this regard, in trying to get information out of Salah, because they're fans at the end of the day as well. Of course, they're working, but I think every Liverpool fan up and down, even neutrals, want to see Salah stay in the Premier League, apart from United and City fans and Arsenal fans. But to lose a quality player like that, and even Virgil van Dijk and Trent as a product, as a Premier League, certainly you want to be keeping the best players in the league, and certainly we want to see those three lads stay. Just don't be panicking. I know off the back of the comments to off the back of the mix zone as well, and just in general, it's don't be panicking, Reds. As I say to you, Kev, and I know you're not panicking, but it's to everyone. I just love this Virgil van Dijk smile at when Salah was given. That just said everything you needed to know, really. Van Dijk was just smiling. Obviously, he's the captain of the club. Virgil knows what Mo's doing.
You just tell him, hurry up. Yeah. We can't be hanging around anymore. Just like sort your dealing, you just get it done and offer us what we want, because we're going to say yes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not often that you have like world superstars and two guys in Virgil van Dijk and Salah that will say yes. I don't care about Trent. If Trent's eyes are somewhere else and he's the one he's the one that's causing this deal to hinder.
Yeah.
Then just let Trent go and just get the two lads done and dusted, because Conor Bradley's good enough to come in there and fill in right back, and not fill in, take over right back. And then, you know, we can also go into the market easily for somebody in right back, you know, releasing that kind of wages. Conor Bradley would be on half of Trent's wages, and no offense, a bit of a better right back. Not you know, and a different attacking right back. He's more balanced. He's more balanced as a right back, but also, you know, if I look at it, Trent is a worldie with that right foot, man, and that's kind of what's kept him in the game at Liverpool for a long time now. But he doesn't do the underlapping runs that Bradley does. You see Salah loves when Bradley makes that underlapping run. He's constantly passing it on the outside to him, and Bradley's creating space and stuff like that. Mo's dying for people like that to be playing around him. So not that he doesn't like Trent, not that he doesn't like what Trent does, but because, you know, Harvey fills in and does the other stuff when he's on the pitch. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, man, get Mo and Verge done, and then just deal with Trent after that.
Yeah. So it's hopefully we get some clarification in the coming weeks as well, a bit more from the club. As we've said, it seems to be for ages now, but as I said, top of the show, Arne Slot's already been on record this season, so the interview with Mo very much didn't change anything other than what Arne Slot said when he got announced. He said we're not going to publicly do contract dealings in the press as well or in public, which is rightly so. It's none of our business. The main thing is, of course, we want to be seeing the players playing for the football club. But yeah, there's and that's what I love. These players, the professional about it as well. So big up there, Richie. Nice one for commenting, mate. And welcome everyone on Twitch as well. If you are watching on Twitch, do drop us a follow and drop a like or whatnot on that good stuff. So most likely with the Ballon d'Or talks, but also he's a mate with Bellingham as well. And obviously we had that situation, Richie, in regards to obviously the before he come to obviously Real Madrid, Jude Bellingham does, as on countless episodes. I know a lot of people did as well. But yeah, the noise will not disappear really, which was frustrating for all of us fans. But I think that's the reality we live in the modern world of football as well. Like everything's just 24/7 nowadays in terms of news stories and player contracts and everything. So yeah, as Kev alluded to, imagine in the 70s and 80s we didn't have social media then. I'm pretty sure that if you ask all them,
nobody knew nothing until like your man was standing there in a jersey, leaning against the wall, you know.
Or just even on the pitch, on the Saturday at the beginning as well. Like everyone was like, "Who's this fella Shankly signed or whatnot?" There wasn't Twitter or any other social media platforms. There wasn't no one on TikTok going, just announced King Kenny. Who's this fella? Yeah, I bet even if we signed Kenny now, there'd still be people going, "Oh, we're signing someone from the Scottish League and all that."
I'm just glad that TikTok hasn't come into the whole influence onto the football signing thing. Because you'd probably end up seeing like last season, the Luis Diaz or 2 seasons ago, Luis Diaz coming on and just doing a dance on a TikTok to say Diaz announced. You know what I mean? Or do you know what I know? I would take that with Salah. If Salah came on and did a TikTok for the whole dance to say Salah announced again. You know, because we won't care how he's announced. We won't care. You know.
Yeah, how much do you reckon Prime Kenny? He's over 100 million, mate. Easy.
Easy.
I mean, his technical ability, his quality as well. Yeah, easy 100
You know
million.
what? I'll give him 143 million just to have more of a Coutinho.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of that, didn't want to dwell too much on the Salah contract situation because obviously it's just every news story, really. Of course, it's the biggest news story at the minute in regards to Liverpool because he's our best player. So
he's no interest in talking to anybody else, either. Have you seen that? In these comments, he's just said, "Oh no, it's like nearly December. Nobody's talking to me yet." But yeah. So yeah, it's nuts. It makes no sense to not like kind of go in and like really push this deal through for Liverpool. Just to add on to it if you're going to let a lot of other lads go, because I know how ruthless Slot is with changing his team up. If you're going to let a lot of lads go, keep the ones that are making the headway. Keep the ones that are stopping the goals. We keep the ones that are scoring the goals. If you're going to do anything and you're going to do something different, I know how like Andy Robbo, I love him. He's probably been my favorite player for Liverpool. For a long time since. Bobby was always one of my favorites when he came in. But like, if he's going to go, it's his time to go because he's not performing to a peak level that he was a couple of seasons back. But still at a good level. He can just go after somebody else in the Premier League and make a mint couple of years, just similar to what Milner did, and just relax a bit more.
Yeah.
And get somebody high quality in. These are the positions that need sorting. The rest of them just the rest of them just need to be boxed off.
Big up there, Lee. How are we, lads? Hope you had a very good start to your week, mate. And Lee, let us know your thoughts. I'm guessing, I'm not too sure of your socials anyway. But Lee, thoughts on the Salah comments? Obviously, we're moving on to the next segment of the show anyway. But let us know your thoughts. Obviously, Richie's already had us said in that regard as well. Big up there, Doug, as well. Massive thank you for dropping in the live comments as well. Hope you're well, mate. Robinson might be here, but yeah, I've said this for years. I think, given his interviews that he's done over the years, we love Robbo, but I think he eventually will captain Celtic in a couple of years' time. I think he might leave at the end of his contract. I think his contract deal runs out at the end of the next season. I think it might be, or it might be certainly the year after anyway. And then obviously that's when you're speaking about obviously getting a left back replacement coming in. I think Robbo will want to retire at Celtic in terms of obviously playing for his boyhood club as well. So I think that'll be a big aspiration. I think having the Scotland captain in Scotland, I at the end of his career. I think it all makes sense anyway. But yeah, big up there, La. All good. I think Mo's calling the club out in public to give, 100%
Yeah,
daily.
100%.
I think that's more or less what it is, mate. In terms of Real Madrid, chat going into the next phase, obviously the show.
But in saying that, Jack, him and Verge are probably the only ones that can, and Ali are probably the only ones that can call the club out in public and do that. So.
Yeah, who was it? Was it Allison last season as well? Obviously demanding, rightly so, and even Virgil van
Signings,
Dijk. Yeah, they were banging a drum last season saying about signings, and we obviously, and even before we even brought Macher and Szoboszlai, and they were commenting countless occasions. So Real Madrid's chat as well. In terms of injury news for Real Madrid going into this game, Vasquez is back to full fitness by the looks of it. That got announced today, so it looks like he might be potentially fit and able to play. But in terms of other injuries for Real Madrid, they've been absolutely depleted in quite a lot of areas. We've had Militao, Dani Carvajal, and David Alaba amongst the key players sidelined for Wednesday's clash as well. And the big main one is, of course, Vinicius Jr. He's been ruled out for another 3 weeks by all accounts as well. That's absolutely huge, Kev, in a grand scheme of things. Obviously comes second in the Ballon d'Or for many football fans out there. Wrongfully wasn't given the Ballon d'Or, but for me, I felt Rodri deserved it, mate. But going into this game, mate, in terms of it's going to be the form we're in. Of course, we're going with a lot of confidence, but you can never write this Real Madrid side off, even with the decimated injuries that they do have. But I want us to put down the mantle, really, and put in a stellar performance and solidify our spot into the latter stages of this competition.
Yeah, to start off that point about Vinicius Jr., fantastic player, world-class player, and all of the above. But your greatest season was a 38 GA last season. Mo Salah's worst season was a 39 GA. His worst season was a 39 GA overall. And I don't care what your team is winning, individual honours only come from what you can build from within. Pep's City are completely reliant on a Rodri within their team. This is why they're falling apart right now, because they bought Phillips to come in and back up Rodri, but yet, then decided he wasn't good enough. So within 6 months before they were going to kind of loan him out, they decided, we get Kovacic in, he's available. And then, kind of at the same time, we'll take the risk of the fact that he's going to be completely injured all the time, because he does get injured a lot. And then never thinking that Rodri, who did slow down quite a lot, got injured. They moved Phillips on, and then, you've Kovacic getting injured. And that's why Pep's system doesn't work. They say that Klopp was limited like to his formations. He's as limited as Pep is, because Pep can't go without an enforcer within his side. And, that's the way it happens. But look, Real Madrid they're coming to Anfield on Wednesday night.
They lost 3 times this season as well, by the way.
They have. And, Militao to me is probably the bigger loss out of them all, because it's just how well he plays in the Champions League.
Very aggressive.
In that kind of format. Alaba, he's probably the only one that you could probably see in world football keeping up with Mo Salah when he gets going. And, that's a good thing. Vinicius Jr. is just a bonus on top of the icing on the cake, to be honest with you, if he's missing. I'd rather beat Real Madrid at their peak, but Real Madrid at their peak know how to tactically sneak. Yeah, not tactically, but shysterly. Say the word shysterly. Play it again. They're a phenomenal team, and they can beat you on the day if they want to, but they're not good enough to beat you. They know how to do the mind games to win the game. So we found that out as Liverpool fans over the last few seasons. And
the last final, we battered them. They sat behind the ball.
Last 2 finals, we battered them. We battered them in the one that they made us 3-1. Like they had no time on the ball, and they just clear errors is what gave them that win. And the last one, we completely and utterly pinned them back, and they just they got away with it. They had Courtois twice saving their life. So
Klopp says is more or less an octopus, really, with that many hands. What a goalkeeper as well. Him and Ali have been the best goalkeepers in the past easy in the last 5-6 seasons anyway. And in terms of statistics wise as well, in terms of just a lowdown on Real Madrid, top goal scorers this season has been Vinny with 8 goals, followed by Kylian Mbappe with 7. Obviously Federico Valverde, the Uruguayan central midfielder, but he did fill in right back this week in their latest victory. He's very versatile. He's a player think we've already said on this show that I'd love Liverpool to sign if money was no object. I think he could certainly facilitate very good, well within this Liverpool system as well.
Sebastian's position in that kind of area. Yeah.
I think he's got more to his game than Sabozlai. I think.
Yeah.
But you don't end up at Real Madrid if you're not a half decent footballer as well. In terms of statistics, in terms of the assists, Vinny's got 5 assists, the most assists this season. Luka Modric with 2, Federico Valverde with 2. In terms of so. Even with that, I know obviously Jordy's got a lot of key threats already with Mbappe, Modric, but I think the biggest miss for them, Kev, and a player that we all love to as neutrals to watch was Toni Kroos. I think obviously there's been if you've anyone seen Real Madrid this season, they haven't, and a lot of their fans have really disgruntled in regards to how they've played in terms of implementing the likes of Mbappe, implementing obviously Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo when he has been fit as well, and even integrating Jude Bellingham. So it's trying to get the right balance out of that. And I think certain games going to Wednesday night's game, Kev, it's they've got a lot of threats, but I don't know. Have you seen a lot of them this season?
Yeah, I see bits and pieces, but like I mean, Toni Kroos and Modric kind of play similar to how Gravenberch and McAllister play. Within the side, Madrid only when McAllister's a bit deeper. But Toni Kroos,
he's retired now.
He's retired, but I mean, he was still able to do the job. And when you're missing people like that in the dressing room as well, there's no real leaders there. Like you think of Real Madrid from the past few years and all of that, and they've always had somebody who's been there for quite a long time. Yeah. And they don't. Besides Madrid, I don't think they've anybody that's been there. And Madrid is not your most vocal of players. Let's say he just gets the job done, and he's very example. Yeah, he's just he's a very very quiet person, as most people say, and that's not really beneficial to a dressing room. And unless you're vocal, and if he's not that type of vocal player, then you're probably stuck with nobody that's been in there as a leadership side of the team that can guide the rest of the lads. So they'll be having mistakes. They're probably taking I know that Vinicius and Mbappe haven't seen eye to eye since they went in there. According to
you just lost the limelight, both of them, don't they?
They do, yeah. I mean, Vinicius is saying, this is my position on the left, you're playing on the right, and that's going to be it. And Mbappe is like, no, like I came here to play on the left, and you can go through the centre or something if you want. And there's all of this kind of stuff going on there. And that only bodes well for the rest of the world because,
I think it's massive that we're going into this game with no Vinny. Quickly on that one as well, in terms of midfielders, obviously Danny Ceballos, obviously formerly used to be at Arsenal as well, as we know. Tchouaméni, Camavinga, obviously Jude Bellingham, Luka Modric and Arda Güler as well, the Turkey youngster that he did sign last season. Obviously had a stellar Euros, I think it was anyway, just gone. Play to keep an eye on, Chat. I think in terms of Real Madrid do a bit of business. In terms of the next 12 months, might loan him out if they do bring in 1 or 2 players into the football club. Obviously, the young lad Endrick and Brahim Diaz as well. I think we anticipate probably, I'd say Brahim Diaz, Mbappe, and Rodrigo 2 stars. I'd say in terms of going into Wednesday night's game anyway. But in regards to the team that did feature recently, it was Thibaut Courtois. Valverde, as I said, played right back. Asensio, obviously the young lads anyway. Rudiger, Garcia, Camavinga, Ceballos. Camavinga and Ceballos played in that double pivot role for Real Madrid. And obviously Güler, Bellingham through the middle in that number 10 role, Mbappe off the left, and Vinicius Junior in the recent game did play through the middle as well. So it's one of them, Kev. Probably anticipate Mbappe to go up through the middle, and possibly if Rodrigo's fit, if he is, playing him off the left or right flank anyway. So it's not a bad option really, but I think when you do analyse, this is it's difficult when you go into Real Madrid because I think we've been in this position before. I think obviously off the back of obviously saying that they're not as always strong as they are, but it's that allure that this football club does have in terms of. I'd love another 4-0.
It's what's kept Manchester United afloat for the last 20 years, or the 10 years to be honest with you. Same allure, same aura, so.
Yeah, I think that game was it yesterday. In terms of not yesterday, last season, I think it was very telling. As we know, going into this game, a lot of form, a lot of quality as well. It's when he played Manchester City. I love the way Man City last season classed themselves as unbeaten, even though they got beat on penalties by Real Madrid. I don't know. It's and that was a classic point of what Real Madrid can do, as we know. But in terms of going into this one, Kev, I want us to put in. I just want to go for it really as well,
Yeah.
chat. Big up there, Ricky lad, on Twitter as well. Big up there, Lee. Yeah, so in terms of Rudiger, when you analyse him as a centre half, Kev, I think Garcia, not quite. I think obviously Ferland Mendy has been in for a couple of times this season. I think I anticipate Mendy to go in at left back. Obviously, but Garcia did play the last game. Maybe. But going into this game, Kev, expectations and your hopes really for this game?
I want to beat him, man. I want to beat him at Anfield. I want to come like the last time we got complacent again at 2-0 up, and we dominated them for that first 20-25 minutes, and then they created that space, and when Real Madrid attacked it, they saw when they create that space, they know how to stretch the Klopp Liverpool side at that time, and it just kind of makes us look like we're with the lack of tactical nous, it made us look a bit average when it came down to it.
We were winning that 2-0,
we were winning that 2-0, man, and it went to 5-2. So I'm not going to see the same thing with Slot, because Slot doesn't play that kind of game. Slot looks at the team and what they're trying to do, and he kind of forces them to play the way he wants them to play, which is great. You might get that. You might get a stubborn Ancelotti that doesn't want to do that, and I think his son and their coaching staff as well, David David Ancelotti. I think he's young fellas on the coaching staff as well, with a similar kind of setup. But what I want to see is just all out control from Liverpool. Don't I want to see we need that Anfield crowd that's going to punish them from the start. And if we do go a couple of goals up this time, or we do score a goal this time, it's very hard to break down this Liverpool side now in comparison to what it was a couple of seasons ago. And you just have to kind of shut them up, really.
Would you say this is Liverpool's probably best test for this season in terms of?
I think Bayer Leverkusen was a better side. No, as Real Madrid are now.
But I think in terms of when you think them as a club, anyway, obviously Bayer Leverkusen.
I don't care about the club.
Really well, but
I'm looking at the players that are on the pitch, and I'm just saying that we can beat those players on the pitch. And I'm thinking from a football point of view. I'm not thinking from an aura point of view. I don't care about Real Madrid. I care about what Liverpool can do to them on the night. And for me, I think Bayer Leverkusen were a better side than what Real Madrid are right now. And even Real Madrid at most of their peak this season, I mean, aren't they a fair bit behind Barcelona?
Only 4 points behind.
Only 4 points. Barcelona are a transitional team. Real Madrid have been there for quite a while with the players that they have. Barcelona have brought in transitional players, so they're kind of similar to us anyway, with the changeover. No, man, look, Real Madrid are Real Madrid, and they can do the job when they need to do the job. But I don't think they're as good as Leverkusen this season that we played this season. And I just think that was a lovely warm up that we just had against Southampton. Perfect kind of game to give us that sweat right after the international break, and it'll only fire us up. We got a hell of a week ahead of us, and I think we can do the job anyway, and that solidifies our place anyway into the next stage of the Champions League.
In terms of my points as well, in terms of just ready to bring it back to the points as well, is my regard. I look at this and analyse that team. I know, obviously, you're saying with Leverkusen, of course, the last 12 months you've been absolutely phenomenal, Leverkusen. But I think you can't, from my opinion, I think they're just still a massive club. And I think we've come into this game, into the finals, writing this Real Madrid side off on countless occasions, and they've always got the better of us. And I think for me, when I analyse this, I think this will be Liverpool's biggest test of the season in terms of the quality within that squad. I still think they've got a lot of still
emotional test.
in what regard? Like,
And I know what Ancelotti can do, but I just think that
you got to appreciate the quality though, Kev.
I do appreciate.
Like in the middle of the park, like they got Drew Bellingham and
I know that. I get that.
Yeah, they got quality to hit.
No, I know that. I'm not writing them off at all in that way. I'm just saying that they're not cohesive enough. They don't gel as much together well. The results that they're getting are against sides that aren't anywhere near their level. And when they do come across a side that is near their level, they get pounced. I mean, Barcelona destroyed them this season, and it's, you're coming to that kind of level, and that's the difference. It's like watching Chelsea in the Premier League.
Beat them as
well. Chelsea, yeah. So yeah. Chelsea, and they lost to a lot of people outside the league, and how the Liga, they all play some very similar tactics. So Real Madrid just have better players in the same tactics. Whereas, you go outside the league and they play somebody else outside the league, and then they get found out. But like Chelsea are the same. Chelsea have got they've come up a level now from the last couple of seasons because of, they're starting to gel a bit better, but they're not beating the big boys. They're mostly beating everybody else that's around them, and then kind of just hovering there or just kind of gradually making their way up. And that's kind of the way I see him at the moment, even though they got far better players within the Real Madrid squad. I'm just saying the occasion is the only thing that's going to... the emotional occasion is the only thing that's going to hinder us.
Occasion, of course. It's Anfield, lads. They're coming to our ground. It's not going to be...
Our boys have to be angry. They have to be angry.
And especially the players that were in that team in terms of last season or the year before when we were in the Champions League. Players will be hurt, especially the lads that have been in the Champions League final a couple of times. That will live in the memory, quite rightly so, for a couple of those players, well, all of them really, for that matter. But it will be, as I said, for me, I think it will be Liverpool's biggest test this season. But
it'll be a good little eye-opener for Trent, Jack. If we do start kind of turning up the heat a bit on Real Madrid, and he can see what way they talk to each other and how they act with each other and stuff like that, and he's like, I don't want to be a part of that. Okay.
Can you wait until everything starts getting clipped after that game in terms of obviously him hugging players and everyone be like over-analysing Trent with the Real Madrid players going, oh look, he's with Jude. It's like, hang on, they're just playing on the same pitch.
They're mates. They're mates. Doesn't matter. I don't care about him being mates. He's a Scouser, and he should love his boyhood club. It's not like it was back in the late 90s, when McManaman left. He was an Everton fan, by the way, and when Owen left, who was also a Manchester United fan, by the way, and before they left and came in, and Robbie Fowler was a different kind of kettle of fish. So I just like to see how even if Trent starts, or even if Bradley starts, I want to see if Robbo starts or Simicast starts. I want to see if all of these kind of people start. So it all comes down to it. For me, I'm just saying it's at Anfield. There's a massive. You listen to those away fans there at Southampton yesterday. They were outstanding. I watched. Is it Chloe Buxton that she does the Red Men TV stuff? I watched her away video and I listened to all the lads just chatting, and everybody, and you're talking like the ultra lads that travel every week, and they're just talking everything Arne Slot. They're just loving it. There's not a word of missing clap. There's not a word of anything that. It's just belief, and the belief has stayed, and that's because of the squad that we have now. Not because of what just Jurgen Klopp built and started to build. It's because of what the squad believed in themselves. I know Arne Slot has taken that, and he can take that to the next level and build on top of that again, which is great for the team.
And that's where certain other football clubs are still playing catch up. I know the rival fans are saying what phase is Arteta's in, but at the end of the day, Arteta's not had legendary footballers like Salah. He's not got a Salah. He's not got a Van Dijk in his team. It's not me defending Arsenal, by the way. It's just saying that there is levels.
I'm very, very surprised he's still there, to be honest with you, Jack.
Yeah.
5 years. 5 years is a one trophy or something. That's for an elite side like Arsenal. I don't see how that works. I mean, why didn't they give Emery the same time? If they gave Emery the same time, he probably would have had 3 or 4 cup competition, at least trophies by now, maybe even a league if in the time that Arteta was there. It's just, I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't understand the thinking there. I think very soon the curtain is coming down over Arteta and what's happening there. They're very fickle, the Arsenal fans. Yeah,
they got rid of Edu. Obviously, he was quite best mates. Obviously,
I think he got rid of him.
possibly.
He did. He went to Nottingham Forest because it's a group of teams that he's going to be controlling rather than just Arsenal. So he's got like as a Panathinaikos and all of these kind of teams there as well. He left them. He just jumped ship straight away because he's probably hearing everything that's going on inside, and the ship is sinking, and
an extra
it's showing on the pitch.
An extra nose on the speed packet. Always helps. In terms of quickly going on to the next stage as well, chat. Obviously, if you are just tuning in now, rewind on the episode. We did speak about Salah's contract, what it means, and obviously the Real Madrid as well. I'm looking forward to it. It doesn't get any bigger than playing Real Madrid in Europe anyway. They are the kings of Europe, but we're the English kings of Europe as well. But in terms of quickly touching on the Ballers League announcement, Kev, which would be interesting to say the least, if anyone just wondering what it is all about. Obviously, London's calling. There's going to be 8 teams confirmed, 4 to come as well. Won't dwell too much onto this, but in terms of big... Have you looked into this, Kev?
I just seen the photograph you sent me. It's KSI and all them, is it?
Yeah, you've got Gary Lineker, you've got everyone from.
Is it 11-side or is it 5-a-side?
It's going to be, I think it's 5-a-side anyway. So I get the details in anyway. So you got Lundberg. You could be down with the kids, Kev. You can tell.
I love the sidemen. I love watching their videos. And I love watching what they do. I just don't care about 5-a-side tournaments. But I do like. I do. Well, in saying that, I do enjoy the stuff that's happening on YouTube at the moment with all these teams and filming themselves and all like that. But I just don't want football to become fake, lads. I don't want it to go in there and stage upsets and stage, show our results and stage how games are going to go because of the stature of one team compared to another. If the sidemen are going in there, I hope they and if they're part of a team that's in there and they finish 8, let them finish 8, and then it'll be more receivable or more gain more respect by the footballing community. I think because they've done brilliant with their charity events so far, so I'm enjoying all of them. But just don't ever let it get to the level of how would you say it? Controlled or staged. Don't let it ever get to WWE side of things.
So in terms of that as well, I thought it'd be interesting because I know a lot of people do love the social media.
It is. Well.
Ballers League is a competitive 6-a-side league football that combines a traditional game with new rules. And obviously, in terms of Gary Lineker, set to be named the UK League's manager, with Alan Shearer and Micah Richards taking on coaching positions. And obviously, they will be joined by John Terry, Luis Figo, Jens Lehmann, Robert Perez, and Freddie Lundberg, also as managers / coaches roles as well. Brazilian icon.
That's cost them $4 million right there.
Yeah, Brazilian icon Ronaldinho will manage a side in the USA League as well. Obviously, like Mini Minter and Toby from the sidemen will manage teams and a couple of obviously Speed will be in charge of the US version, and obviously KSI in charge. But and obviously Chung, there's so many YouTube personalities out there. It's going to be interesting. I think those lads, and especially YouTube lads that have been going for like 20 odd years or whatever. Obviously KSI's obviously ventured into boxing and music and all that. It is remarkable though, like how far they've come, and I think just goes to show how well they've done, and obviously influencers as well. In the modern era as well, like I think there's
a calling us, Jack. Both of us can run for 10 minutes, but I smashed 2 goals in. No matter.
There we go.
No hassle.
Yeah,
I'm a good striker. I can hit a football, so it's grand. Call me for 10 minutes on the pitch. I score 2 goals and then I can go off huffing and puffing. It's grand.
So it's going to get more eyes. One to keep an eye on, chat. It should be entertaining. 6-a-side. It will certainly get the views anyway, because given the lads' social media platforms and the following as well, obviously followed by millions of people around the world. And when
it's like Rocket League for YouTubers, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But it will be interesting, obviously, with those legendary players, Kev. Just something, I forgot what the league's called in America, but there is some I think Gerard Piqué and saying a couple of other people do. I'll try and find it for the next episode anyway, but something similar in the US. But it's just another way of probably getting more money as well. But it will be interesting. I'll certainly check it out. But
a lot of it be given to charity, because in fairness to the sidemen and anything that they do, a lot of it's given to charity, and they're good blokes. In fairness, I can't say bad about much of them, and they live in a harsh spotlight, lads. Because when they get a lot of, they try to be as sound as possible, but I suppose when you get recognised daily about 40 times a day, and you get kind of like pummeled by fans that are just You know, a lot of their fans are teenagers, and teenagers are idiots. Let's call a spade a spade. They're all idiots. So they always say stupid things to kind of upset you. And when you got 40 of them guys trying to do it a day, and the other 20 are licking your arse, it's a hard life to live. But it's good with the money, you know, because you're quiet for the rest of the week. Yeah.
Master League. What was it? Master League. I'd love that to come back. Was it on Sky?
That was brilliant. That? Yeah, like Master League was fantastic. Yeah.
Like if they had that like late night, like say at like 10 o'clock at night, where you got legenders.
Like, this has to be late at night. This has to be like to be like away from wrestling time. Yeah, this has to be late at night, away from wrestling thing. It has to be before UFC. So you're talking like a late Saturday night at maybe like 11 o'clock. People are going out to play football. The next minute the UFC starts straight afterwards. That's your night sorted right there. You know what I mean?
So Premier League, we've given an idea there. Like the Premier League's Master League, but obviously for any league, the team that is in the Prem at that given time should have teams and have like registered legend players as well. Because I want to be saying, obviously Kenny's getting on a bit anyway. We'd love to see him play, but I think in terms of players that could play in that, then
Gerard, Luis Garcia, and Babel, all of these kind of guys could play. Dirk Coate could still play. John Ellery could still play. Dude hasn't touched the point his entire life. He's as fit as a fiddle, that fella.
So you certainly could do it.
Westerveld, Kirkland, all these guys could play easily.
Yeah, but you'd have to register like 15, 20. But I'd be down for that. I think everyone would in terms of the world. So Premier League, if you're watching, little idea for you anyway.
Would you watch us for that, Jack?
Yeah. There we go.
You know?
We're
just not the case if it's up and down. Yeah, we do the commentary and just and at least with this one, it doesn't have to be as serious. You know, you just say, Mini Minter's pants is down around his ankles. The first time you said that in about 2 years. You know, that kind of stuff. You know, so it's good because you know it's a lot enjoyable. I did a funny thing the other night, Jack. I watched American horse racing. Right, I was just on an app. I was on one of the apps for the betting, and I had like a 5 or 10 left out of something that I'd won. And I said, I go in and I'll throw £2 on all these horses. I don't bet, lads. I don't bet at all. But I was there. There was like this funny channel. And I brought it up, and it was just all these jokes. And it's very similar to poker. Like there's this poker, because poker is boring and slow in its own way. I love poker, lads, but it's boring and slow in its own way. So you need personalities behind the mic, and these guys are brilliant. So yeah, I've been watching the horse race and watching the poker, and some of the stuff that they come out with is just on the spot and so good. It's quick witted, and it's so good, man. And it just makes the whole you could sit and listen to those guys whilst watching a game of poker, and then realize, oh, hang on, a hand is only happening once every 10 minutes here or something, like, you know. It's brilliant. It's brilliant to watch. So if I could do something like that with this kind of stuff and just take the piss all the time, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Could be good, that, mate. Obviously, I think we'll speak about the Premier League football. What day are we on? Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow evening anyway. A couple of the results and what it means for obviously Liverpool going into this season as well.
West Ham won as well today.
Yeah, did that finish 2-0?
2-0, yeah, I think so. Yeah, check.
Big results. Obviously, the Hammers fans travelling all the way to Newcastle. That'll be a big result for them as well. Quick one in terms of Kevin De Bruyne. I know we said to call on it at the top of the show. De Bruyne was quoted tweeting in terms of his quote. Kevin De Bruyne on contract due to expire in June. I honestly don't know. We will see. I put basically everything to the side when I got injured. Now I'd rather still get better first and see how I am. And also the rest will come. There will be talks. We'll see. Bit similar with Salah. Obviously, we know Kevin De Bruyne's performance in the last 12 months have massively come down. But a player of his quality, I think City would like to keep hold of.
I wouldn't say months, Jack.
Yeah, probably.
I wouldn't say months.
Would you say 12 months?
I'd say nearly a good
year.
But in season and a half now, all of last season and all of this season so far, and you'd have to go back 2 seasons ago. The fact that he was still kind of like struggling a bit then, huffing and puffing a bit.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is with him, but
hamstrings got finished in the Champions League.
Yeah.
As well.
Done shin splints, all this kind of stuff. Look, fantastic, world class player. No Gerrard, by the way, so he won't be remembered at the same day. I don't care what team he played for; he's still nowhere near the level of Gerrard, which is why he's still not talked about in the same ilk as Gerrard, Lampard, and well, I don't know how Scholes got in there. Scholes is a great player, but I don't know how you probably talk about De Bruyne before him. Anyway, but look, great player, probably ends up in the Saudi League or America, one or the other, if they know who he is, because I don't think, well, a lot of Manchester City fans are based in America these days, but
I think if he was to go and not sign it, but it would be quite pivotal though, Kev, and I think it would go to show the changing of guards really at City. I think that is caused.
They're in a massive transition.
Like
massive.
It's a massive rebuild job at City. I still think, mate.
Yeah. Like Pep is only there to steady the ship, and then they're going to say, Pep, can you stay? We can see what's happening here now. Can you stay for like an extra season or so? And you mightn't take that's why he's saying maybe it's a 2-year extension. If you're at a club that's winning everything and you don't think that the 115 charges are going to affect you, and you think that you could still go on and win everything, why not stay at the club and win everything? You know, what are you going to do? Go and is it for a challenge? Like, no offense, Pep, but what was he, about 50 or something like that?
Still 50 odd.
He could wait. I said, wait until you're 65, Pep, and you can go and still take your tactical notes at some lower level team and bring it up if you're that good, you know. So that's my thing. It makes no sense to me. He's only staying there because the board have probably begged him to say, look, we need you to kind of steady the ship until we leave, and then do whatever, and then kind of go. And I see a downturn for City for a couple of years now. I said something similar about United after 2012-13, after Fergie left, and I said that United will struggle under Fergie, not just because they're not a world-class team or whatever like that. It's just because of how much influence he had and how much control he had over the team for 26 years. It's a lot. It's a lot of time to be controlling the side. Pep has been there for he'll be there for 10 years now, and controlling everything.
He's controlled. I think the Taki Excaran, I think he's left as well, one of their sporting directors. So times have changed at City, and it could be big, Kev. And if that is the case this season, this is why Liverpool need to capitalise, as we've already said. Hopefully, this will be a good, sustained period of dominance for Liverpool.
It kind of gives you an idea, Jack, that this result for the 115 might go on for a bit longer than what you think. Because why would he sign on for an extra thing if City were to get relegated or they were to get done or whatever? Because they know that their lawyers have said, no, we can stretch this out for a year or so. Just get Pep in, make as much money back, go down, come back up, and show yourself in the black. But then once they go down leagues, there's also standards of how much there's restrictions down there. Yeah, there's everything. So there's no way they'll be able to keep any of their players going down there. None of it. Who's going to stay? Is Phil Foden going to stay because he's a Man City fan and going out to $5,000 a week? Not happening.
That's where the realms of possibilities, and that's where clubs have difficulties as well, as we've just said. Then there's wage caps in the Championship, same with League One and League Two as well. Big up there, Luke. Hope you're well, mate. And nice one for popping in, mate. Yeah. Even if Man City gets done this season, they will have the right to appeal, so decisions will stretch 100% there, Luke.
I said it takes 3 years, even from last year.
Yeah. Massive thank you, Kev. Chat as well. Massive thank you for everyone that's tuned in. If you're watching on Twitch as well, drop us a follow as well. Do get involved. Kev, when are you next streaming on Twitch, does?
I'm streaming on Twitch, and I'm streaming on YouTube, and I'm streaming on TikTok, and I think I'll add an X as well, I think, but for the watch along on Wednesday for Real Madrid, Liverpool Real Madrid, so I'll be on for that. So
we will be pushing Kev's channel as well, Spider LFC. Told Kev for absolutely donkeys. I love Kev coming on, but it's about time we actually start making videos on his episodes on his channel, because we want to get him pushed out as much as we possibly can as well.
So, I'm easy going. I like my watch alongs, and the rest of stuff I'm happy with. Just goal reactions. I like goal reactions. I like doing that kind of stuff, and I like coming on just to talk to anybody on any of their channels. So I'm happy with that. But, I appreciate it.
More videos daily as well. We'll get that as well in terms of that. Big up there, Lee. Nice one, mate. And chat, a massive thank you to everyone that did pop over to the Anfield Index. Obviously, had me first. Obviously, live watch along, and massive thank you to Kev and everyone on the channel that did pop over. And hopefully, we will see you throughout. I know we will. We will see you throughout the season as well on the channel. And massive thank you to the lads as well. Anfield Index. I'm looking forward to get started this season. Should be an absolutely cracker. Adds a load of good fun, and especially making my debut, as I said, on the post-match show as well with Gags and everyone. I made up we won on the first appearance. Could you imagine?
It's a good setup there, Jack. There's good fans there. I was watching them myself, and I'm very critical. I speak my mind as much as I often can. I don't know anybody anything, but I'm just saying that there's a good setup there at Anfield Index. I think it's great. When you brought on with Gags, it was a good show. When you went live, it was a good show. The lads are looking after you well there, so I'm dead happy. So to watch it. I can't watch it at the same time as I'm doing, because I can watch him and I can see Jack's emotionals on his face, so then I'll just type and mock him as I'm doing it. So that's the best I can do. But that's about it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Big up the Luke. 2-2 on Wednesday night, 3-1 on Sunday. Up the Reds.
I did that.
Yeah. Big up.
Actually, no, I won't. I want to beat Real Madrid.
Yeah, we want to.
I think we'll take City anyway. I want to beat Real Madrid on Wednesday.
I think if we can absolutely slap them on Wednesday,
Yeah.
it will be mainly a statement to the rest of Europe, because if we absolutely dominate them, everyone in Europe. I think the more team I'm most not concerned about, but I have kept an eye on this season, is Barcelona. I think we mentioned already Barca tonight.
Yeah.
I think Hansi Flick's got them playing really well. I think their high line, if we did come up against it, we'd absolutely batter them anyway. But the fact that this AC Milan side that we beat not too long ago, beat Real Madrid, I agree with what Kev was saying anyway before. Like, I get where he's coming from with Kev, because I completely forgot about that result of him.
Yeah, there's a few of them. Remember, Real Madrid have lost the majority of their games more than winning in the Champions. They've lost 3 of them in the Champions League so far.
Yeah, their expectations coming into this game, and it's magnified anyway. But we'll speak about that more a bit tomorrow night, and obviously, make sure you head over to the Anfield Index on Wednesday night. But we'll have our post-match show out on this channel as well. But everyone, massive thank you. Have a lovely rest of your Monday night as well, Reds. Look after yourselves, and a massive thank you to everyone that is tuned in. Massive thank you to Kev, as always. And everyone, look after yourself, and we'll see you tomorrow at a similar time.